My name is Caleb King, and the topic I chose to research is the military strategies surrounding the American Revolution, as explored in 2 dissertations and 1 book. These sources focus on the topography, fortifications by opposing forces, and the impacts of weather on those forces and their fortifications. The first dissertation I examined is titled British Fortification Strategy in South Carolina Backcountry During the Southern Campaign of the American Revolution. Archaeological and historical perspectives on infrastructure and landscape. This dissertation centers on the question of how military operations are influenced by infrastructure and landscape, using a case study of British fortifications in the South Carolina backcountry during the Southern Campaign of the American Revolution. The author utilized a combination of archival research and review of existing archaeological data and on-site landscape analysis. An exhaustive list of unpublished and published primary and secondary sources, including letters from both British and American generals discussing fortification plans, is compiled. Numerous photographs, sketches, and blueprints are included throughout the dissertation, each accompanied by an analysis explaining the planning and significance of the fortifications. The conclusion is well structured, with 6 sections leading up to the final discussion where the author summarizes findings and provides an answer to the central research question. The second dissertation I analyzed is titled Navigating Wilderness and Borderland, Environment and Culture in the Northeastern Americas During the American Revolution. This dissertation examines the evolving interactions between nature and humans during the major military campaigns in the northern theater of the American War for Independence, focusing on the complex interactions among local people, local environments, and military personnel from outside the region. Unlike the first dissertation, which included site visits and in-depth site analysis, the methodology in this dissertation primarily relied on library research. The content included maps and images, but unlike the first author, the second author chose to place these images in the appendices at the end rather than embedding them throughout the dissertation. This work focuses more on the effects of weather on British and American troops in the northeastern wilderness during the American Revolution. The third source I used to research this topic is the book 1776 by David McCullough. This book examines the early stages of the American Revolution, particularly through George Washington's command over the American forces. Throughout the book, the construction of American fortifications is highlighted, particularly in the defense of Boston, where American forces utilized higher ground to gain an advantage over British troops, eventually leading to the British withdrawal from Boston. A key instance of weather intervening in this defense was the coverage of night and the fog that followed, allowing American troops to surprise the British by erecting their fortifications on top of Dorchester Heights. The analysis of these dissertations reveals differing organizational preferences of the authors and a comparison of methodologies employed by each. The first dissertation built its thesis around a central question, while the second utilized a research statement to drive the presentation of its topic. Together, these 3 sources paint a picture of opposing forces utilizing topography to gain an advantage, only to be hindered and sometimes aided by the weather.